Welcome to Paging the Pod with James Wong.
And Aaron Samok, and today we're joined here by Dr. Shao, who is a family doctor here in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Nice meeting both of you.
Okay, first question is, what got you to pursue medicine?
I think it's a multi-facet question. I mean, when I was young, I was always interested in human anatomy, and I came to Canada at age of 15 from Taiwan. And as you know, Taiwan doesn't have any English program in the school. We started learning English at grade 7. So I came here, it was grade 9, so I only have 2 years of English background. So initially for me, coming to Canada, it was difficult for first half a year because with my English barrier, I wasn't able to understand in the class, because my English was limited. So it took almost 6 months for me to get better. Then I realized that, to go into medical school, you need to have high grade. So I figured, I was able to do well in high school after learning the English. And at the time, my brother-in-law, who is a surgeon, which I live with them when I came to Canada. So he has quite a bit of influence on me. And that's basically that I got interested in going to medical school.
Can you talk about how you got into medical school and what you did afterward, like your residency?
Well, I mean, I graduated from University of Manitoba because that's where I lived the first 15 years in Canada. I did that time I did my BSc program, which was a 3 years program, general science program. And after that, then like everybody else, we apply to go to medical school. Obviously, the process going there, like it consists of, I mean, your marks, your academic requirement, and you gotta have good marks, and also MCAT. And the most important thing is at that time I was a second year. They started having interview. So we always have approximately 45 minutes of interview among the medical faculty staff and also other medical student interns that interview me. But I think they have altogether 7 of them.
All right, what motivated you to work hard through medical school despite all the difficulties or challenges you might face?
Well, I think you just had to work hard, and once I realized that you know handling of the English language was adequate, and I was able to uh, to excel my academic. I in pre medical schooling, I know that it's important to have a good marks, and obviously I was they started having interview, so the marks wasn't only a part of it. The MCAT, the interview play a big part of you getting into medical school. For example, prior the interview, the medical school for Manitoba, it has 95 every year. They take about 95 people, and the time pre-interview, we usually have 20 to 25 Chinese medical students. Once they have an interview, the number dropped from 25 to my class only 5. So there's I don't want to say it's a discrimination there, and then all of a sudden like the Chinese student become dumber. We usually have 25, and now it's only 5. So it was a big, 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 big cut. I guess they based on also your interview. So a lot of people didn't get in because of interview. So I think like anything else, academics important, but I think also your social skill, also the process of your thinking through the interview is also very important.
Can you tell us more about like what kind of questions they asked and how you prepared for the interviews yourself?
I think the interview we have back then is so different from here now. I think here was like something like you had to go 2 days or something, whole day, a lot of hours. But back then, we only have to have one interview, which is usually runs 45 to 1 hour. So the question varies, right? I mean, the question they ask you a lot of hypothetical question. My question they asked me was if I was health minister of Manitoba, and now the federal gave me a grant. Uh, there's two choice for me to decide how I'm going to spend this money. First option was start a very respectable cardiovascular program, cardiology program in one of the hospital, or would I put all the money into the rural medical setting? The reason they stated rural setting is because at that time they have difficulty recruiting doctors to go to a small town. There's very few graduate willing to go to a small town, so I guess they had to give incentive for the new grad to the small town. So basically, the choice: put all the money into attracting more doctors to go to a small town, or build a high end cardiology program in one of the hospital. So basically, that's a two question. My answer was this, because I told them, it's both programs are great, but I think important thing is you had to decide which program would benefit best or most to the Manitoban, right? If building a cardiology program to become a well-known facility, or putting on money try to recruit doctor to go to a small town, whatever benefit the people the most, I say that's a route I will go. So there's really no right answer or wrong answer. I think they just wanted to think. They just wanted to know how you think under the pressure. What would you say? And obviously, they also try to want you to change your mind. Right? They'll ask you, say, why you say this? Why don't you think cardiology is much more important? Its benefit. So they want you to change your answers, right? But I think you have to stick to the answer what you give, because they wanted to know the personality you have. Are you easily to get swayed? So even I heard one of my classmate, he gave a wrong answer, but he knew he had to stick to it, right? It doesn't matter. They try to say, oh, why you say this? This is not a very good thing, but he has to. He stick to his answer. He didn't change his answer. Even he knew he wanted to give another answer, but because of the anxiety, nervousness, he gave it wrong. He didn't want to give that answer, but at the end, he stick to what he was saying.
What do you advise for like students who might face this pressure? Like, how did you deal with all the different pressures from the interview or during like the academic programs or just during residency?
Well, I think first of all, I mean academic. I mean, you just had to academics. You are the only one you can help yourself, right? I mean, you have to study hard. Uh, I when I started medical school, I remember everybody around me, they are taking this pre-med program. I go to physics class, whatever class, same person again. Go to another class, same person again. So I asked them, like, what are you guys taking? Everybody medicine. They want to get into medicine. So I thought, wow, there's a lot of competition. So I think what I what I did is this. I think I said to myself, I mean, I have to achieve the highest mark I can. Just by working hard. I mean, that's only thing I can do, and that's always advise my patients. They when they want to go to medical school, I say, well, you know what, work really hard for 4 years, right? Work hard for 4 years, then the rest of your life is okay. Right? Once you become a doctor, whatever, right? I mean, daily life, your life is set. You don't have to worry about, you know, working, working for someone else. Not getting a good job. So I think some of my patients listen to it. They work hard and they get in. Some they didn't. So, and in order for how do you do the stress things, reduce the stress? I think you need to be a rounded person. You need to know what is going on around our environment, the news. That time I always have a habit of listening to the national news at the time of 10 o'clock. So I listen to the news, what's happening around the world, because sometimes they can ask that question, but I'm not sure in UBC right now what kind of question it asks, right? So I think you need to sort of learn and know what's going on around the world in case they ask you question, right? I mean, I remember one of the question was asking about uh, that time, like mercy killing wasn't allowed, right? And so they asked about one of the patients that went through. So if you don't know that person, Susan, I forgot the last name. If you don't know who she is, how do you answer the question? So I think you need to sort of know what's going on. So in case they ask you a question, that at least you know who this person is or what they trying to ask you about. You know, so I think it's important thing is just like you need to know what's going on around yourself.
What drew you to family medicine and made you want to become a family doctor?
What's that? Sorry.
What made you want to become a family doctor?
Well, I think important thing is, I mean, you can sort of apply your skill, to helping people, But I think also, I mean, a lot of people, during the interview, you don't say this. It's for monetary. I mean, that's a lot of us think that's important things, right? I mean, but we dare to say that when they ask you, you're not going to say, "Oh, I go to medical school because of money." I mean, I think that also should be. I think everybody's still thinking that's one of the reasons. But I think you need to like the job. You need to deal with patients. You need to deal with public. If you are really, really not socialized, I don't know how you're going to talk to the patient and dealing their problem. So I think just like you know, I guess personality is also important, right? I mean, and persistent. You got to be persistent to achieve what you want.
How do you see some of these like upcoming technologies like AI maybe just impacting your field?
Well, I'm not really in that high tech things, but I know some of my younger colleagues, they are using AI detection program. Like because we have to uh, type. Right now I have EMR, but I use different system. So it's basically the AI. You know, it when you're talking to the patient, they automatically do it for you. You know, and at the end, you just take a look. What do you want to add? What do you want to delete? And so that's like firsthand. That's the only thing I know about AI because that's the only thing I know. Some of my younger colleagues are using AI as a dictation program, but I use different program.
So for in the future, do you think just in general medicine will change a lot, or what do you think the future of medicine will look like as technology continues to grow?
Well, I think some of the job may be replaced or better by the AI technology, right? A lot of people are thinking about how about the radiologist, they read film, right? I mean, AI can do that. Probably AI probably more how do I say it, more accurate in reading the film. But I think you still need a human part of it. I mean, you need to do things, and some still need to do a biopsy. I'm not really sure how you're going to train. I mean, you need a robot to do a biopsy, but that would be very expensive. So, I mean, AI can read things, but can it do like practically, do it think themselves? Like for example, if you see a lump, right, they can say, "Oh, this is a lump," but before the lump, you need to do a biopsy. Can they do a biopsy? No, they just program. If you need to do the lump, you need to have robot come and do the lump for you and send it out. So I think AI probably will help us in knowing, increase our medical knowledge. That's for sure, and can probably solve more difficult cases. Like putting all the symptoms, signs, all the things together. They probably can give you a better field of diagnosis, right? Differential diagnosis, probably they can give us that. But for practically doing things, you still need a human. So I think doctors they still need doctors, right? I mean, at least in my time, maybe 50 years, I don't know. Maybe they have robot that can do everything. I don't know, but I think right now they still need us.
What would be one piece of advice you'd give like your past self or a high school student who's aspiring to be a medical doctor?
Well, I think you need to be interested in medicine, right? You need to genuine wanted to go to medical school, to help people. I mean, that sounds corny, but that's true. I mean, if you're not there, if you're there only for one thing, you don't really care about patient. I mean, I see some of the doctor, right? They are very rude to the patient. They don't even listen to the patient, right? And the patient say, "What?" I mean, I ask you, don't even listen to me. So that's, I think that's, you need to be interested in medicine, interested in helping people. And to get there, you need to be also a hard worker. I mean, I know some of my colleagues are pretty, I would say them genius. I mean, they read it, they don't forget, right? I mean, wow, I had to read a few times. They read it once, they didn't remember it. So. But I think if you work hard, you can change things, right? I mean, if you're a genius, you don't even look the book. Right? You're gonna be worse than the people that work hard, right?
Yeah. So thank you for listening to Paging the Pod. Thank you, Dr. Hsiao, for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you for listening.